And I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Благодарю вас, госпожа председатель.
Thank you, Madam President. We thank the Special Representative of the Secretary-General, Ms. Zarugi, for her updated information on the situation in DRC, and also on the implementation of the political agreement from December and preparations for the elections. We've also taken note of the statement of the President of the National Conference of Congolese Bishops, Senko, and the Distinguished Representative of Civil Society. We regret that we weren't able to hear from the head of the Congolese National Electoral Commission. We share the view that timely elections on the 23rd of December would allow us to lower the political tension in the country. As we understand it, technical and legislative preparations for the vote in December are consistent with the National Committee's electoral calendar. We note Kinshasa's measures, including for timely adoption of laws on the distribution of places in the provincial legislative bodies and local councils, as well as the publication of a list of those parties that have been allowed to run in the elections and different associations. It's important that under the aegis of the International Organization of Francophonie there was an audit of the electoral list, and it's good that half the political parties in the country have signed up to a code of conduct for the elections. We noted the statement made by the President Kabila in July to the National Assembly, where the Congolese leader once again restated his commitment to observing the constitution of the country. Finally, very recently, the process of registering candidates for the presidential election was completed. As we know, the Platform for Common Front for Congo has put forward one candidate. This is Emmanuel Ramzani Shadari. We believe these signals are correct and timely, and it would be good if opposition parties could refrain from pushing a negative agenda. We call on colleagues not to demonize the decision made by the Congolese Electoral Commission to use electronic voting machines. We agree that to avoid any problems in the electoral process, Kinshasa needs to guarantee its sustainable financing. We respect the decision of the Congolese government to rely in this process mainly on its own resources, and we draw attention to the logistical possibilities that MONUSCO can also offer. We don't rule out the need to update the implementation by the Congolese authorities of measures to increase trust, including on the emblematic affairs mentioned in the political agreement involving political actors abroad. However, we encourage all oppositional parties in the country, or in the Republic, to work with Kinshasa and the Electoral Committee to avoid any manifestation of violence. We also think, as an imperative, the sovereignty and legislation of DRC should be observed. In our understanding, the role of the UN mission in organising and holding elections should not go beyond the mandate anchored in Resolution 2409 of this Council. Protection of civilians in the electoral context should be carried out with full observance of basic peacekeeping principles and without meddling in the domestic affairs of Kinshasa. We assume that the Congolese themselves should decide their own fate, and the objective of the international community here is to provide them assistance in those areas where it is genuinely necessary. Madam President, elections are not a panacea in themselves. We need to devote attention to solving the root causes of the crisis, to not forget on the need to continue the fight against illegal armed groups in the east of the country who, as before, represent a threat to the civilian population. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement.